So now that we've returned... Uh-oh. Remember these creepy lizards? Yeah. They've got Alma in distress and they are armed like they were before. Please! This ship is a place of peace! Yeah, we're kind of in danger. Release my sister, or you will answer to me! Yeah. Sadly, I'm not armed properly. With the cat's way! Yes, indeed. Put that damnable thing down, Ramza. You're not helping matters. We have no quarrel with you or yours. We only seek aid in finding our leader, Bagamnon. Oh, he ran away from you? And why do you want our help? You seek our help? You who threatened to kill my father? Who stole his work and made fools of us all? Never! Silence, Ramza. They have Alma. We will hear what they have to say. Oh, you're giving it back. As I said, we've no quarrel with you. We only did what was necessary to secure an audience. We surrender our weapons and offer you your journal as an act of good faith. But if you surrender your weapons, why aren't you dropping them? Yeah, dude, come on. Yeah, he's like, really? Yeah, runs right into the arms of her brother. But he's not putting his sword down. He's not taking any chances. Yeah, why are our rivals here? Other than the aforementioned reason. This is all rather a lot to digest, but your claims do coincide with what we have learned about the ore site. You're saying that Crystal did something to our captain? Yeah. Care to explain, Makoto? And try to keep it simple. After being emptied of Argot's will, the Duma sought that of another to sate its appetite for ether. You're saying that Crystal ate our captain? No, not his body, only his soul. His soul? Tell me, what in your opinion was your leader's deepest desire? What was it that he longed for above all else in the world? Why waste your breath reasoning with these lizards? They show themselves for the beasts they are when they put a knife to your throat. First morbats, now lizards? This one's tongue is pure poison. You don't say. You're like, do you really want to get on my bad side? Plus, you're still armed there, Mont Blanc. The boy can call us what he pleases. For our past failings, we deserve no better. Your failings? 30 summers have come and gone, yet not a night goes by that I do not wake in sweat at the memory. You're that old? We were Fusiliers of the Damascan army stationed in the royal stronghold at Nalbina. Nalbina fortress is reputed to be impenetrable. Its fall to the 4th Legion proved a turning point in the Imperial campaign, dealing a crushing blow to Damascan morale and ultimately marking the beginning of the kingdom's end. But now here's where they start taking liberties with Final Fantasy XII's story.
Bagamnen was our captain, and once it was clear that the day would not be ours, Prince Rassler, commander of the garrison at Nobina, tasked him with one final mission. Our unit was to escort His Highness's twin sister, the Princess Ashelia, away from the fortress and thence to safety, but things did not go as planned.
Yeah, that is very much taking liberties with the story, because in Final Fantasy XII, Rassler and Ashelia, aka Ash, were not twins. They were actually to be married. So yeah, they were not family. They were just planning on getting married. Yeah, there she is.
I still remember the words she uttered as she lay dying in the captain's arms. But the stone's throw from where the Garam Scythe waterway drains into the sea. Even as the fog of death descended upon her, she smiled and told us, the very people who had failed her, to survive. For as long as even a single Damascus stood, her nation would never truly perish.
And of course in Final Fantasy XII, she is alive and very much well. Yeah, I don't know why they took so many liberties with Final Fantasy XII's canon in this particular quest.
But it should not have been us who survived. By failing to protect our charge, we betrayed the princess and her memory, and brought shame upon our race. So yes, we are not but cold-blooded lizards deserving of whatever scorn you deign to heap upon us.
Yeah, Makoto wants to make a point. I think we may safely assume a deep-seated hatred towards the invaders of his homeland, coupled with self-loathing born from a sense of powerlessness. The darkness that lurks in the heart of Bagamnen is little different from that which drove Argath, the same emotions that were to nourish Duma.
Stop speaking in riddles, Charlian.
She's saying your brave captain will eventually turn into a monster, or rather, more of one.
Garlean lies!
Well, if what they say is true, if we do not find Bagamnen and the Duma soon, none of us are safe, present company included. Do you have any idea where he might have gone? Any at all? None? Oh, that's not helping. But... wait! Look at this! Something has been added to the final page of my journal. Yeah. Pray tell, what have you found there, Genomus?
Then the captain must have put it there. Only he had access to it. Until we found it in the pack he left behind, that is.
Is this Damascus? You mean as in text? Indeed it is! It says Reader Writer!
The lighthouse? Why would he write that? And in the old man's journal, no less.
Yeah, why would he do that? There's a place on the Volnard Sea, far to the south of Rabanasta, where the ocean tumbles into a gaping maw more than a mile across. The Ridorana Cataract. Yeah. Go on. Legend would have us believe that it is the entrance to the Hell of Water. Hell of Water? Many a scholar seeking to prove otherwise has descended into the chasm, some even by airship, but not a one has returned. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Oh, you played it too, Elizabeth? Well, this first quest is finally done now when we speak with Genomus. I must admit to knowing little of Ridoranos save that which Lady Makoto shared with us. Before we expend valuable time and resources traveling to so remote a place, I must review my notes and see if there's any mention of the Abyss. We shall send for you as soon as we learn aught of interest. And so with that, this quest is finally done, and we'll be taking 1,853 gil for our reward. Stand strong and unified! So yeah, it didn't take long for Genomus to get some information, because we're taking on the next challenge, entitled My Power, My Pleasure, My Pain. Something is on Principal Genomus' mind. Unfortunately, it is not what you think it is. Ridorana is proving to be quite the enigma. With every answer comes countless new questions. This may take longer than I expected. But you are doubtless eager to know why I requested your presence. Our resident dramaturge mentioned there was something he wished to ask of you. As my work here is far from complete, I wondered if you might not indulge the man while you wait. So yeah, since it's going to take us a while to get some information out of Genomus, it's time for an epic fetch quest. There's so few loath to take the rest than venturers without a quest. For shorn of work to give them worth, they soon become a source of mirth. Quoth the man idling in an airship, or adventure will find me in time. Well, yeah, you are idling in an airship, aren't you? And we know plenty of adventure. Touché! I shall leave you to your devices then. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I actually did not... I was curious in what the other option was because I had already seen the other one. I actually had no idea. I actually had no idea the other option could happen. Yeah, well, why don't we show it off anyway? What the other option was. I had no idea. Yeah, I thought it was just like, go like normal. Wow. Alright, adventure will find me in time. Oh, but it has, my friend, it has. My colleagues tell me that if one in this land ever needs an item fetched, you are the woman to speak to. I find this philanthropic compulsion fascinating, and so, in the interest of research into my next play, let's say I seek to put said compulsion to the test. Assuming you are game, of course. Bring me a bottle of wine, but not just any wine. Make it rosé themed, and make it Eolzian. I've had my fill of the bitter blends of it here in the East. Where to start? If there only was some port where thirsty Eolzians went for their wine, you would surely be there speaking with its foremost blind Lalafell vintner and not here with me. Yeah, in other words, he's pointing us in the right direction. He's actually taking us all the way back to the lead-in to Titan from A Realm Reborn. We've got to go all the way to Wineport in Laodicea for this. Yeah, of course, he asked us to go to Eorzea to do this, but we're gonna have ourselves quite the quest here. Yeah, once we get to Laodicea, we'll be speaking with a guy we have not seen in a long time. And he won't be the only one that we haven't seen in a long time. So, a new day has dawned here in Eorzea, and we're gonna speak with our old friend from the Company of Heroes, Shamani Lomani. How have you been, young man?
Soy and spice, sprinkled with a subtle soup-con of the steppe. You have traveled far, my friend. What is it you seek here in Wineport?
Well, if you need to know...
A rosé-themed wine? You would be hard-pressed to find a wine that did not display some hint of rosé. So we can assume that your client was not referring to a desired bouquet. Perhaps a name, or a label, or... a bottle! Yes, I seem to recall a certain vintage rosé sold in crystal bottles with a single red rose on the label. Alas, I have nothing as rare amongst my personal stock. As for who might, well, there's always Beerglance, I suppose.
But yeah, if you remember all the way back 4 years ago to the Gordon Ramsay of A Realm Reborn, you might remember that this guy is not one to part with his wine so easily. What did he do it this time? Only an uncultured fool would select a wine based solely on his bottle. As it happens, however, said fool will be undeservingly rewarded with one of Valebrand's best wines were he to select a vintage Sud Vianda. Not that your client would have the palate to properly appreciate its depth and complexity. But let us dispense with the pretense. You are the fool in question and do not bother to deny it. A fool who has aimed too high. One of your stunning could live 1,000 lifetimes and still not amass the wealth required to purchase even an empty bottle. But it's for someone who needs it. Oh, price is no object, is it? Ha! Even if I believed you, and I do not, I have a reputation to uphold as a vintner and a viticulturalist. Were my clients to learn I was peddling my choice of my collection to the likes of you, they would never do business with me again. Not even the Warrior of Lights is worthy for your clientele. Yeah, you know who I am. Alright, just see to the back of you. I shall do you the kindness of directing your steps into one who might take pity on your plight. Assuming he does not find amusement in it, Master Gigaruju of Costa del Sol, but do not tell him I sent you. Yeah, he wants us to go pay a visit to him. Yeah, the proprietor of Costa del Sol, who certainly has shown his fascination with the fairer sex over the years that we've known him. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been around here. Of course, the last time we were here doing normal quests, we were helping out Wizkate here with an insane series of fetch quests. Not the least of which included going to the dungeon Bravefox's Longstop. Yeah, here's Master Gigaruju, the Lalafell who runs the place. Hey there, it's been a while.
Corinne, it is always a pleasure, and I do mean that. My ladies inform me you come inquiring after a bottle of Sud Viandia, but I told them that they must be mistaken. Not even you would be foolish enough to think you could...
Well, let me explain why I'm here, though.
Oh, you are serious. Corinne, you do realize one could purchase an entire estate in mist for the price of a single bottle? Or 5 estates for the price of 5 bottles, which happens to be the number of bottles of Sud Vinya I have in my collection. Now, I am not an unreasonable man. Let none say the venerable Gigaruju does not value a friendship as deep as the one you and I have forged. So, in my boundless generosity, I offer you the opportunity for trade. A bottle of vintage Sud Vinya for a mere magnum of fine Dalmascan.
Like,
never heard of the stuff, and I thought I was talking to a fellow connoisseur. I pity the poor vintner back in Wineport who will have to educate you. Until then, my friend, the offer stands.
So yeah, we're gonna have to do as Gigaruju says. So yeah, as Gigaruju gets famed by his Mikote girls and his right-hand cat, let's go back to Wineport. In the meantime, hey Mira, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. Okay, so back to Shamani.
First Sud Viandia, and now Damascan wine? Might I interest you in an aged Lominson Red instead?
I'm afraid not.
No, I thought not. Well, then you have your work cut out for you. There was a time Damascan wine was fairly easy to procure, even here in Valebrand, but that was before the Empire raised the better part of the kingdom, vineyards and all. If there are any surviving bottles, it will be those that were exported before the Imperial invasion, over 30 summers past, though I've not encountered any in a decade or more, either at auction or in private hands. Collectors are covetous creatures. If one were to have somehow acquired a bottle, there's little chance he would willingly part with such treasure, which leaves only those brought over by the few Damascan refugees who fled to Eorzea.
Including another man we haven't met with a long time. A guy who's sadly suffering from PTSD and who needs desperate help with problems in his life. This is leading up to the new 24-man challenge there, Mira. Yeah, we've already covered the royal city of Rabanastre. Now we're going to go to where the sequel is taking place. But we have to do some crazy prolonged quests just to get an opportunity to even access it. Because earlier on, we fought 2 red chocobos who proved to be, so far, the bane of many an adventurer's existence in this game. And now we're, in order to get advancement with this particular story, we have to get some of the rarest wine one can possibly find. But to do that, we have to speak with Drest here, our poor friend who is suffering from PTSD, as I mentioned. Drest, how are you?
Can't sleep. They won't let me. The bitches won't let me. They buzz and they scream.
Yeah, it looks like he needs some emotional support.
You! I know you. You were here before. You sent away the midges. They came back though. They always come back. They mock me. Tell me I can never go home. I just want to go home. I cannot stand it here anymore.
Yeah, now he needs more emotional support. So now we have to comfort the guy.
Wine. My wife loved the wine. We would drink a glass of Vallon every night before sunset. She would always keep the cork. I always thought that odd. What good is a cork? Toss it in the midden heap along with the bottle, I'd say, but she...
Yeah, so this is actually leading us to a clue. And if you can believe it, it's actually underneath Drest's little hut here. What, you already have? Oh, wow. Though you find several empty wine bottles among the rubbish, one in particular calls out to you. Take it to Shamani Lomani to confirm its origin. So, back to Shamani and Wineport. Yeah, I've already cleared it myself with Mathia, but now I'm doing this live with Corinne. So you survived the onslaught of the red chocobos too there, Mira? Alright, Shamani, I'm back.
How is Drest? I do hope your visit did not disquiet the poor soul.
Well, actually, stumbled upon this.
So you brought me an empty bottle? Ah, but what is this? The cork remains in place. That is most unfortunate.
Why is that?
If an adequate seal was made, there still may be traces of the wine within. May I?
I'm not gonna stop you. Yeah. Feel that aroma.
Flamboyant yet elegant. A thought-provoking blend of kakuru beans and cinnamon with just a hint of... Is that rosemary? A veritable kaleidoscope of both opulence and refinement. Long has it been since I last encountered a bouquet of such complexity, yet I recall it as if it were yesterday. Without question, this bottle was once held a Damascan Le Monde, read by the name of Vallon. To think that I would have the opportunity to experience again after so many summers. But I suspect Master Gigaruja will not be satisfied with a sniff as I. Now, one without scruples might see the empty bottle as the basis for a ruse.
One man's ruse is another man's keikaku. And Hancock, what are you doing here? This isn't your turf. Yeah, we're both shocked to see him here. Over the years, I've had numerous dealings with the Lord of Costa del Sol, and while he is many things, an expert on wines is not one of them. Not that it would matter if he were here, or if he were. Men of his standing invariably find more joy in boasting of their acquisitions than in consuming them. In all likelihood, Master Gigaruju will never even open the bottle, rendering the provenance of its contents practically irrelevant. Ah, but where are my manners? These forays back to western climes always bring out the barbarian in me. It is a pleasure, Corinne. Lest you wonder at my presence here, my employers see promise in the Hingan wine trade and desire the establishment of a variable route twixt east and west. I am come to see their plan to fruition. But returning to your dilemma, I believe that I may be of assistance. I just so happen to have on my person several sample bottles of Hingan wine made with grapes similar to those once found in Dalmasca. For a close acquaintance, I'll be more than willing to part with one that she might fill her empty vessel.
But that would be unjust! As a maker of wine, I cannot allow it!
Master Gigaruju has chosen more of his clients than he can count. How do you think the man amassed his fortune? By playing fair? Would that the world were thus, but I am here to tell you that it is not. So, it is decided then. We shall employ deceit as our morally justified means to a happy end.
Wait, this is a fool's errand!
Well, yeah, don't tell that to Hancock, who has no issue with manipulating things to try and get an advantage. Then let us be glad our quarry is a fool himself. Yeah, the shock on Corinne's face, and sadness, says it all. Now, if you will excuse me, I must go and tell the gentle citizens of Wineport why they should be drinking Hingan. Good day. So yeah, now we gotta turn this back over to Gigaruju. Yeah, deliver the bottle of quote-unquote Damascan wine to him. Yeah, was that awkward or what? And so, away we go. Time to pour wine over on Mr. Gigaruju and his Mikote girls. Yes, we wonder, will we get to return to the Isle of Endless Summer in a couple of months for the Moonfire Fair? We'll know soon enough. Hey there, Gigaruju, I'm back.
By the gods, you actually found one? A bottle of Damascan wine? Oh, we must uncork it right away.
Yeah, here you go. 100% legitimate.
Ah yes, a luscious bouquet of herbaceous dignification, coupled with earthen undertones and so forth. In short, the very epitome of a Damascan red. Yes, you have outdone yourself this time, Corinne.
Yeah, what can I say?
And a promise is a promise. Ladies, the bottles of Sudvidyanya, if you please.
Yeah, how happy they are to do their master's bidding. Yeah, it's certainly a wide variety of looks. And if I'm not mistaken, one of those bottles had Kite Sith's picture on it.
Take whichever you fancy, except for the one with Rose. That is my favorite, or whichever you fancy.
Yeah, I know what I want. Yeah, it can only be this one. Thank you so much. And now time to go back to the Prima Vista. So that means warping back to Kugane. So yeah, let's give the dramaturge what he wanted. Hope you appreciate it. They say a rosé is a rosé is a rosé. So, tell me, adventurer, is that a rosé in your pocket, or are you simply here for small talk? No, I got what you were looking for. Satisfied? A bottle of vintage Sudvianya! You never cease to amaze! But what is most amazing is your impeccable sense of timing. Today marks the 12th anniversary of the day I met my dear wife, and if there was one thing she loved more than wine, it was roses. Wish that she were here today to... Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Oh, but I jest. My wife is very much alive. In fact... Yeah, she's alive? She's been here with us all along. Darling, would you care to join us? Yeah, it's a fellow Ellison.
For me? How thoughtful! But did you...
Forget the most important gift of all? Of course not. Nice to meet you too. So yeah, I went in for a change of clothes. Yeah, basically playing his dramaturge role to perfection. Bacon bread, the perfect companion to a perfect wine for my perfect companion.
Oh, darling, I think this might be our best anniversary yet.
Well, at least we made him happy. So sometime later... That played out better than I imagined. I suppose I have you to thank, adventurer. Though it was the bacon bread that sealed the... Ah, yes. Is that Principal Genovus I hear calling? Perhaps he's made some progress with his research and requires your assistance. You best not keep him waiting. Yeah, because we certainly had a lot of journeys to go on this particular quest, but we'll take our 2,480 gil for finally completing it. Stand strong and do not fight.